focus, especially when it comes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on his way to Russia and where he will be holding talks with the Russian President Vladimir Putin on a range of critical and strategic bilateral issues that are likely to be taken up. The preparations that are underway in Moscow, where the Indian community is excited for the arrival of the Prime Minister. Now, before taking off for Russia, the Prime Minister, in his departure statement, referred to the Russian President as his friend, to reviewing all of the aspects of the bilateral cooperation with Vladimir Putin. He also highlighted that both the leaders will be sharing perspectives on various global and regional issues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also reiterated India's stated diplomatic position vis-a-vis Russia when he said that India seeks to play a supportive role of a peaceful and a stable region, and that the visit will also provide him with an opportunity to meet the vibrant Indian community in Russia. Take a look.
It is a way of taking stock of, any relationship. What you do is you look at the state of the world. There are things you want to do more. There are things you want to do differently. One of the big changes has actually been that our economic relationship with Russia has grown tremendously. How do we, there are a lot of pluses. There are issues which come out of it, like the trade imbalance which has come out of it. So I would say, at a leadership level, it will be a great opportunity for Prime Minister Modi and President Putin to sit down and directly talk to each other. And then obviously, as per their directions, we will see how to take the relationship forward.
Well, the visit is very significant. It is taking place after a gap of 3 years. We have the tradition of annual exchange of summits, level meetings between the President of Russian Federation and the Prime Minister of India. The last one was in 2021. So since then, a lot has changed around the world, but also our relations have expanded. Russia is now one of very important sources of crude energy resources in India. Also, trade have expanded in other areas.
Well, Rishabh is with us right now. Rishabh, good afternoon. As far as the Prime Minister's departure is seen and his statement that he is now referring to Vladimir Putin as a dost, of course, this is a long-standing friendship that has seen its ups and downs that we have witnessed over the years. But of course, India and Russia continue to remain close.
Well, definitely, if we see historically, India and Russia have been very close partners, be it in 1971, be it post that during India's nuclear test in 1998. Russia has been a country that has stood by India. In 1993, India and Russia signed the Treaty of Friendship that was elevated to strategic partnership in 2000. And since then, there have been a summit-level talk tradition. From 2000 to 2021, 21 back-to-back summits happened where either the Indian leader was visiting Moscow or the Russian leader had visited India to hold the summit-level talks between the two countries. In last 2 years, 2022 and 2023, the summit-level talks could not happen because of Indian leaders' engagement with G20 and other multilateral
Well, we'll talk
issues.
more on that as far as this visit is concerned. I'm told that Srinjoy is also joining in. Srinjoy, good afternoon. How is India looking at this visit of the Prime Minister?
This is the first time they're meeting in about 3 years in a bilateral. And there are really 5 or 6 things on the agenda. The 5 or 6 major issues. Number one, the first issue that both sides are very keen on is space. Because India has a Gaganayan program and Russia is working towards helping India on that program. Already Indian Gaganauts have been trained in Russia, and more further work is going ahead on this, including working together on ISRO engines. That's the first thing. Secondly, there is logistics. There is going to be or likely to be a logistical agreement between the two countries. There is already a Vladivostok-Chennai corridor. That corridor work will be strengthened as well. That's really the point two. The third thing really relates to the 3 Fs: food, fuel, and fertilizer. Now, all these 3 things have come up primarily because of the war in Ukraine. And again, South countries, including India, have been badly affected by it. So once again, These three issues will come up, and again, India and Russia will try to find a solution. Fourth, both countries are working towards an FTA, a free trade agreement. This is with the Eurasians. Now, while it's not going to happen this time, there is likely to be a lot of progress on this. So an FTA with the Russians, the Eurasians really, can be signed in the near future. All these things are very important and will definitely come up. Now, one of the three legs of the primary legs of the Russo-Indian relationship is defense. The other two are space and civil nuclear energy. But as far as defense is concerned, one major worry is the issue of spares. Now, enough spares are not coming, and that is the problem that the armed forces could face in the future, not as yet. Now, if there is an agreement on these issues, particularly spares, it will make the life of the Indian armed forces
Well, it remains to be seen if
easier.
that issue will be taken up as far as this bilateral is concerned, because when the Prime Minister reaches Moscow, he is expected to be hosted for a dinner with the President Vladimir Putin. Thank you very much, Srinjoy and Rishabh, for joining in at this point. But in the meantime, as we talk about over this visit, because how can it be possible that the Prime Minister has gone abroad to a foreign visit and politics doesn't happen back home? Because here, reactions that have been coming in with the Congress and other constituents of the India bloc leading the attack, with senior Congress party leader Jairam Ramesh putting out a long post on social media X and highlighting that Dr. Manmohan Singh met Putin and Medvedev 16 times when he was the Prime Minister, and he's the only Prime Minister Modi's 11th meeting with Vladimir Putin. Congress, meanwhile, is asking the Modi Sarkar if the ties with Russia have cooled off under Prime Minister Modi's watch. Jairam Ramesh also highlighting that the exports have fallen and the import has now surged from $6.34 billion to $46.21 billion. And he's asking if a rectification of the trade imbalance with Russia is on cards. Congress and the other opposition leaders have also raked up the issue of Indian nationals joining the Russian army, which is a cause of concern for the government. They are asking if the government will ensure the safe return of the Indian nationals who have joined the Russian army to fight Russia's war with Ukraine. Listen in.
कांग्रेसी नेता राहुल गांधी सहित सभी, उनसे देश की ये तरक्की पच नहीं रही है। एक तरफ भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी विदेश में भारत की छवि को ख्याति देने में लगे, और दूसरी तरफ ये लोग भारत की छवि को धूमिल करने का षड्यंत्र रच रहे। कांग्रेस और कांग्रेसी कुंठित मानसिकता में, हताशा, निराशा में इटली का चश्मा लगाकर भारत को देख रहे हैं।
Russia was always with us and helped at the time of the crisis. And much more than this, what is today. Russia is now supplying arms to Pakistan and India both. But there was a point that completely Russia stood with India. Rather, I would say that relationship has been diluted rather than getting it strengthened. But what happened to the lie which they perpetuate when PM goes there, then Modi, those supporters of him.
Well, in a few hours from now, we are expecting the arrival of the Prime Minister there. And of course, the Indian community has been eagerly awaiting for the Prime Minister's arrival. With that, we head into a short break.